it's a very complicated bureaucratic process. He's been simplifying that. The thing that they did now is they allow people to have semi-automatic rifles. Now you can buy an AR-15 if you want. You can buy we have a rifle. The Army's rifle is called FAL. I think it's Fusil Argentino Liviano, maybe, or Fusil Automático Liviano. I don't know. I think it comes from Switzerland. They manufacture it there. Anyways, you can. I think you might have that for as long as you don't have it on an automatic system, just a semi-auto FAL. So yeah, what I know, gun organizations here are working on like at least concealed carry laws for legitimate users. That's one thing. We don't have conceal. You have to be like a registered security person to have a concealed permit, concealed carrying permit, and also, and this is another, we don't have really any carrying rights. Like if you carry your gun, you have to carry it. Like let's say you go to a shooting range. You're a legitimate user. You go to a shooting range. You have to transport that gun. When you transport it in your car, you have to. You can't have it all together. You have to have it in parts. So you don't have it like if there is an emergency, you don't have it. You can't use it.
Buy my novel, Escape from the Village, from major booksellers online. Go to escapevillage.com. Subscribe to the Substack. Go to fountainheadforum.substack.com. Support the forum. Go to buymeacoffee.com/fountainheadforum. Thank you. Welcome to the party, pal. This is Fountainhead Forum 320. I'm talking to Miguel Duranti. We're going to talk about what's been going on in Argentina with some of the elections. Some of the elections in Salta. Manuel Adorni is now. What office was he elected in Buenos Aires?
He's a local legislator from the city of Buenos Aires.
So that's for the city of Buenos Aires, okay, not the province.
It's the Capital Federal, the city of Buenos Aires, yes, of course.
The city of Buenos Aires, and of course, also some other political developments like some liberalization of gun laws. How are you, Miguel?
Good. Thankfully, the country is heading in the right direction. Right now, I don't really see how Milei's plan could fail. Maybe an external shock, but there's no. It would have to be pretty significant, and even then, I would say that we are in a good direction. The economy, like the IMF, adjusted its projections of growth for the Argentinian economy from 5% to 5.5% like a month or two ago, I think. There are other local economists, like prestigious economists like Ricardo Arriazu, that are saying that the Argentinian economy is going to grow 6.3% in this year, and the inflation rate is going to end up under 30%, maybe 29%, which is like a complete success. That would mean that most likely next year we will be hovering around one-digit inflation, which is normal inflation. Maybe not next year, but for sure in 2 years. And what I think it's let me just give you another thing so people can understand. I think that it is most likely that the Argentinian economy right now is going to grow for 3 years in a row. We haven't had 3 years in a row of growth since 2008. Uh, the most we ever had since 2008 was 2 years, and then 1 or 2 years down, one up, one down, one down. Usually on electoral years, we used to grow the economy, and then on non-electoral years, the economy used to go down. And overall, since 2011, the GDP per capita of Argentina is about maybe 15 or 20% lower. Uh, and so this is going to be the first time in since 2008 since we are going to have 3 years in a row of growth. So I think that that will mean Milei will be reelected because the economy always predicts everything. Another thing, if we reach one digit inflation for let's say next year or at the most on 2027, then that will be the first time we have one-digit inflation in 1 year since 2006. So, like I'm pretty confident that this semi-quasi libertarian experiment
Yes,
is gonna work out. Yeah, in general. So
uh,
that's
s-
in general. Then we can talk about local stuff.
certainly. Yeah, I think Milei's prospects are pretty good for the election, and of course, did recently have some elections in. I know I saw the lovely Maria Amelia Orozco talking about the elections in Salta. There was some good results there. Can you tell us something about those? And some
For
and
all,
there's I guess and it sounds like provincial elections are on different days apparently.
well, in Salta, I think I don't know much about Salta, but in Salta, how you go say Libertad Avanza,
Yes.
Milei's party won in the city of Salta, but I think the governor, which is a Peronist governor, got most of the general election in the state, uh, which is well quite normal, thinking that um, like. Um, Maybe the people in the rural areas of Salta, they depend very much on the government. Well, I mean, for people who doesn't know, like Salta is like in most of northern provinces of
Yes.
Argentina are like deep depopulated, urban population, um, under 1 million or 2 million that for the whole state. It's big chunk of land, uh, and the Burmese government have a lot of stronghold there because they hold the people hostage. Uh, the most notable of those provinces where that happens is in Formosa, where the same governor, not only the same party, but the same governor has been there since 1995. The Supreme Court uh, said that's illegal. It's unconstitutional. They should reform the constitution of the state to change that continuous re-election. And the governor there in front, he doesn't care about it. So it's a conflict for the future. Eventually, I would say that maybe the federal state should like seize that government, because it's terrible what happens there, and terribly corrupt. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about Formosa being kind of a sort of a semi-dictatorship within
Yes. Yes, it is.
Argentina that
Yes, and
that's not good.
during the lockdowns, they committed all kinds of abuses. Like, I mean, uh, over what other local governments did. I mean, just so it's a very awful place to be there. Um, and so yeah, thankfully, uh, the, with the general direction of the country, the people there will be better. But um, still a bad place to be. Um, I'm always saying I'm so confident that in the direction of the government that in 7 years, well, that means for the duration of the the two terms of Milei, I'm just uh, saying that I'm just assuming he's going to be reelected, and in the next 7 years, maybe we will be as poor as Greece, so much richer than we are. Maybe like a poor European uh, um, um, social democracy in terms of GDP per capita. I mean,
Yeah.
this how I'm calculating. Maybe we are about like 14,000, like uh, in not adjusted dollars. Maybe we are in $14,000 GDP per capita here in Argentina. We might be in the order of 23,000. That would be in 7 years. That would be like Greece now. So, um, well, and another thing was the local election here in the city of Buenos Aires, where I live. And here, yes, the what happened was um, very surprising in terms of what the Libertad Avanza party did. Was very surprising for in relationship to the polls. Like the polls were giving like the advantage for the Peronist party, small advantage, and then the second and third place was being disputed between Libertad Avanza and the other centrist left party that controls the city of Buenos Aires for the last 18 years. That's the PRO, which belongs to Mauricio Macri and his brother, who is the mayor of the city, Jorge Macri. Uh, and what ended up happening is that the Libertad Avanza won, ended up first winning over um, the Peronist um, legislators candidates, and it was a very good election. They ended up with 30% of the vote. The Peronist candidates ended up with about 27 or 28, and then the pro alliance and ended up much lower with maybe 18% or 20%. I don't remember quite how much. I mean, less than 18%. 18%. So they're like finished in the city of Buenos Aires with those numbers, which is a very good thing because as I told you, they've been in the government of the city of Buenos Aires for 18 years now. So Macri was in the government of the city of Buenos Aires. Mauricio Macri, the one who was president of Argentina, he was in the government of the city of Buenos Aires from 2000 since 2007, and then up to 2015. Then his party um, um, like chief of staff, chief of cabinet, was mayor for another 8 years, so that's 16 years. And then Macri put up his brother, it's not his, I think it is his brother, Jorge Macri, or it's a cousin. I don't know. He's from the same family, same uh, um, last name. Jorge Macri has been in the for the last 2 years. So when they end up the government in 2 years, that will be 20 years of Macri's party. It's called PRO. Macri's party in government. We're like we don't have like much to complain from like a depopulated area, like we were talking about, what governments have been there for 25, 30, 35 years. So um, it's going to be a good thing if they end up just losing uh, to a Libertad Avanza mayor's candidate in 2027. That would be very good, very good. And
Yes.
there is very much, and it's very easy to cut down government spending in the city of Buenos Aires. The city of Buenos Aires is just crazy spending. Like, just to give you an idea, in about in 20, well, yeah, in 12 in 05 to 2005, like the spending of the city of Buenos Aires, GDP in relationship to the GDP of the city of Buenos Aires was about 4.5%. So 4.5% spending in relationship the local government of the city of Buenos Aires um, spend that amount of money in relationship to the GDP of the city, and right now it's over 9%. So it doubled 9%. Uh, um, um, uh, uh,
Yes.
spending in relationship to the GDP of the city. So, and most of it has been expended in public employees and crazy stuff. Like, of course, the city is much better in terms of public works and all of that, but that doesn't explain the amount of growth in expending and in also in the growth of the U.S. denominated debt of the city. We used to have a debt that was about $500 million in the early 2000, and now it's over 3,000 billion dollars. I'm sorry, 3 billion. It used to be $500 million, and now it's about $3 billion. So yeah, it multiplied by 6. So in the last 20 or so years. It would be good if we have a chainsaw there in the Argentinian and in the local city of Buenos Aires spending.
Yeah, I I guess the elections in Salta I was talking about was the chamber of their own chamber of deputies. La
Mhm.
Libertad Avanza took 31 out of 42 seats. So that's
31 hours.
a very good sign for the province of Salta. Uh, the governor hasn't changed, but that should be very interesting to see what happens there. You mentioned Adorni is now. What do you think Adorni might do in Buenos Aires?
Well, I think he's obligated to do do well. First of all, he's just a legislator. He is gonna be um, um, sending projects for cutting spending, and I'm sure he will do that. And the reason why I think he will do that, um, it's because, I mean, uh, maybe for your audience might be obvious that he might um, uh, do that, but let me just give you another context. Like in the other areas of outside of Buenos Aires, in the province of Buenos Aires or other states, where the Libertad Avanza has local legislators, uh, they they um, they come from the Peronist ranks, most of them. So they tend to just make normal political arranges and vote for whatever the mayor of the area wants. They're not libertarians, and I mean, we're talking about a lot of legislators in different. For example, the city of the province of Buenos Aires has 125 districts. No, I'm sorry, 135. But in 125, the Libertad Avanza has um, uh, um, people in the local legislators. Like they have, I don't know, uh, they're a minority, but they're a number that is not unconsequential. They might have 3 members or 6 members or whatever in a legislature of maybe 20 or 30 members in each of those 125 districts. Uh, and in those areas, they just go along with whatever spending project the um, local mayor wants. They don't make much opposition there. But Adorni is different. First of all, the city of Buenos Aires is very visible, and also he is a very visible person. Himself is very uh, uh, he's a very known person in social media with a big following. And he has established himself since many years before becoming a government um, um, official of Milei's government. He was just a journalist. He established himself as a person who um, uh, all the time complained about the government spending, always publicizing the most outrageous things where the government spends money and everything. So he's gonna have to follow that line, the same line, uh, uh, and be because if not, he's gonna ruin his whole credibility. He's gonna mess up his followers, and he's gonna mess up his political um, future in this particular case. So I'm confident that he's gonna, first of all, present projects to lower spending in the city of Buenos Aires, and also um, he will very likely be competing for the city of Buenos Aires as a mayor in 2027. So if he wins, I'm expecting him to really cut down spending in the city of Buenos Aires, like for real. Um, so yeah, in the city of Buenos Aires, as I told you, is pretty easy to start slashing spending and giving people here the city a break from taxes, mainly. For example, you could, just to give you an example, you could go away, get away with eliminating completely um, the tax, the monthly tax that the city of Buenos Aires takes on the cars that are located in the city. We call them, patente. We call them here. It's a tax on if you have a car registered in the city of Buenos Aires, you pay monthly the tax, and that could be eliminated from day one without even affecting the surplus of the government budget. The city of Buenos Aires has a surplus, thankfully. So that could be done like immediately and give people like a good break on their monthly bills, which have been increasing. That's one of the bad things that happened, is like Milei uh, in this process of adjusting the economy. Uh, in this process of adjusting the economy, many prices have gone up over the inflation rate. The Argentinian local prices went up in dollar terms, a lot, and that um, uh, over one of the things that Milei's economy did was re um, how you say exactly, it's like there were many prices of different services and goods that were contained and um, very they were not up to par with the general level of inflation, and Milei just let those prices, the prices, for example, the price of your private medicine, or the prices of many services like electricity or gas, or yes, or your heating bill with your natural gas bill. All those things, Milei let them adjust at a more normal level, and the cost of living in terms of services went up a lot for many people. So in the city of Buenos Aires by eliminating a tax on the cars, for example. That would be a very like a good relief for the people of Buenos Aires who have been paying a lot of other price increases, and that they've been suffering other kind of price increases in the different things like I said, water, electricity, natural gas, private medicine, also some food items. So yeah, uh, so I think that Adorni will have to comply with that mandate at the same level or at a similar level that Milei is doing at the federal um,
Certainly,
level.
certainly. What also it looks like Milei has made it easier to buy some guns there. What can you tell
Oh
me about buying guns in Argentina and
well,
how
it's a very complicated bureaucratic process. He's been simplifying that. Um, the thing that they did now is they allow people to have semi-automatic rifles. Uh, Now you can buy an AR-15 if you want. You can buy um, where we have a rifle. The army's rifle is called FAL. Uh, I think it's Fusil Argentino Liviano, maybe, or Fusil Automático Liviano. I don't know. I think it comes from Switzerland. They manufacture it there. Uh, Anyways, you can. I think you might have that for as long as you don't have it on an automatic system, just a semi-auto FAL. So yeah, what I know, gun organizations here are working um, um, on a, well, like at least concealed carry laws for legitimate users. That's one thing. We don't have a conceal. You have to be like a registered security person to have a concealed permit, concealed carrying permit, and also, and this is another, we don't have really any carrying rights. Like if you carry your gun, you have to carry it. Like let's say you go to a shooting range. You're a legitimate user. You go to a shooting range. You have to transport that gun. When you transport it in your car, you have to you can't have it all together. You have to have it in parts. So you don't have it like if there is an emergency, you don't have it. You can't use it. Uh, you will have to assemble it. Well, well, I mean, it's so we don't have carrying rights at all of like like less than that would be that you can't use your own gun outside your house would be because you would have just to rent a gun where the place where you go in the shooting range. That would be like at least they let you carry the gun in some capacity, but it's completely crazy. I mean, so what we want it's a law that allows we call it ley de pronto uso, be like a law of uh, quick use of the gun. That's what to allow people to transport the gun in one piece and loaded. So uh, um, even if you have it unloaded, if it's not separated in several parts, I mean, you could have a problem. You will have a problem if they catch you. So yeah, I mean, so um, uh, um,
yeah.
that's what gun organizations here are pushing for, and I hope they will succeed. I would have to say in another line of arguments that recently the numbers, well, I mean recently, like I don't know, maybe January or February, the numbers of um, the, murders by 100,000 people were published for the whole American continent, and we were the second safest country after El Salvador. In that includes the USA. Like for example, El Salvador has 1.9 murders per 100,000 per year. We have like 3.9, so almost 4 per 100,000. Um, the US it's about 6 or so it's worse than Argentina. Of course, it is located in cities and everything, and the same some
Yes.
area here. I'm just giving you the raw numbers. Uruguay is pretty bad. Uruguay is like 10 murders per 100,000 per year, and mostly located in the city of Montevideo.
And
But
I
here,
often wonder how accurate some of this reporting is.
mm,
I
well, sometimes, um, sometimes uh, not so much how good or bad the rule you use to measure something it is, for as long as you use the same rule every time. So that gives you like a rough tendency to look for. Um, Maybe I don't know. Sometimes not. Sometimes the numbers are so disparate, they're so different that, or the ways the different countries measure it are so different that they don't give you a good inter-country comparison. But um, but even then, you can have a general idea over time of where things are going. Um, oh well, yeah. Regarding Buenos Aires, in that number, or regarding Argentina in those numbers, like the city of Buenos Aires is pretty safe, and most of the country is pretty safe. What is not safe, what inflates that number to almost 4%, or four per 100,000 per year. It's that um, or suburban areas of the city of Buenos Aires, uh, just crossing, we call General Paz the avenue, just crossing the Capital Federal and going to the suburbs. That area, where about, I don't know, maybe 16 million people live, 14 million, 15 million people live. That area, that whole area in general, is very unsafe. That will skews the numbers. If you did a more um, uh, precise measure in that area, you will have a much higher murder rate.
Yeah. Miguel, that does raise one question. If some of our, listeners are traveling to Buenos Aires, what areas should they absolutely positively avoid?
Oh well, the south suburban areas, suburban, yes, like places like Quilmes, Lanús, Lomas de Zamora. Like there are safe, there are big areas and there are very safe areas in those places, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't.
So Lanús, you
Yeah,
said,
yeah, Lanús, Quilmes,
Quilmes, yeah, okay.
Florencio Varela, La Matanza. That's west, but it's okay. From west to south, I would say avoid those areas if possible.
And
Just
these
go.
are south. Yeah, these are south, maybe a little bit southeast. I see
Yes,
Quilmes, Bernal, El Bosque.
yeah. Bernal is in.
That's the name of a club. I'm just looking on MapQuest here.
Yeah, you have um, uh, Avellaneda, Quilmes, those areas, just passing the city of Buenos Aires, are then other areas, Florencio Varela, Moreno, that's west north. I would say avoid that if possible. Um,
Moreno.
there are also some areas in very nice, uh, like San Isidro, or
Yeah.
north, or there are some areas that I would tell you also to avoid. But San Isidro, for example, in general, is where many rich people live. It's a very nice area, a generally safe area.
Well, I'm putting this out, if people are shopping for Airbnbs and stuff like that, just to let them know where they shouldn't go. It's good to know these things.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. the city of Buenos Aires in general also is very safe, but there are slums, very big slums
Yeah.
areas that in general I should recommend you to avoid, or go with a local that knows the area. Um,
Urgo Blanco, you said?
Slums, big slums like Retiro's Villa, like
Retiro DJ, you said, or
Villa de Retiro. Um,
Villa Retiro? Yeah.
yeah, it's called uh, the Villa 31, VILLA 31, Villa 31, for example. That's just located in the downtown area of Buenos Aires. It's just behind the bus station, the
Ooh,
bus
what?
station. It's a place where about 40,000 people live there. It's like big.
Villa 31. Yeah, I think I saw that area. Yeah,
Then there are other areas in mostly in the geographical center of the city, like the Villa 11114. It's comprised of three villas that grew up so much that they got packed together. That's in Flores, for example, Villa 11114. Uh,
Bajo Flores, Barrio Ilia.
or for example, Flores, it's a nice area. You can go there, no problem. But then, like the south region of that neighborhood, it's called the Bajo Flores. There, it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, you don't go there, like, unless you want to buy cocaine, and even then, I wouldn't recommend
yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, this is not tax advice. This is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. And we're not
Yeah,
giving you advice on where to go buy things.
no, 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 no,
So
but
yeah,
yeah,
on where to go buy things that aren't legal. So
yeah,
we are not responsible for anything.
no, no, no,
We're
no,
advising you. You go to these neighborhoods in your own
no. I mean, because
under your own risk,
I'm
and
not,
you probably shouldn't.
I'm not encouraging anything to
Yeah,
nobody to that. It's just because here it's quite common from time to time to hear story where some people went to buy drugs. It ends up on the newspapers, or friends tells you about it, that they went to buy something at the wrong place, and they ended up between two gangs and they died. So they went to buy cocaine or whatever, and they got in a cross shooting between gangs, and they got
yeah,
it. It's so.
yeah. And of course, we've discussed Rosario and its well-known reputation. Uh, yeah, do you think is the crime situation better than it was a year ago, or
Oh yes, of course. That's for sure. Rosario, like, uh, I used to know the numbers by exact, but because it was reported in that same report I was talking about just moments before. Um, like, it's like 70% less murders than last year, than in 2023. 2024, like 70% less. I think the number is 72% less murders than in 2023. So, uh, let's say there was about 200 murders that year, and they were all related to, mostly related to drug gangs, and now it's down to 70 murders. So that's about, yeah, that was about the rough numbers, like, or 90 murders,
yes?
something like that. It was like 250 to 90, something like that. And the situation is not perfect there, but it's gonna be under control in a few years. I think, completely under control.
Most
Um,
certainly. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in the overall elections for the Chamber of Deputies this year? We don't, La Libertad Avanza still doesn't have that many seats, so hopefully that.
well, um, I would say that the government will impose itself. It's very important what is going to happen now in the local, um, Buenos Aires province. We have the city election, now we have the province, then we have the nationals. So,
Yeah.
um, it's very important to see which political alliance form themselves, because here in the city of Buenos Aires, uh, as I said before, like the Libertad Avanza and the PRO, the Macri's party, they were separated. But in the province of Buenos Aires, they're going to go together, most likely. We still don't know, but we will know it in a few weeks. Uh, they will go together in an alliance against the Peronist party, the Peronist governor of the state, Kisilov. It's a Keynesian Marxist economist who is in charge of the province. I say Keynesian Marxist because there is Keynesian Marxism. So there are other kinds of Keynesianism that are more reasonable. But
Well, there are
he's like
people who like, yeah,
of it.
there are people like Keynes and people like Marx. That's fairly wild, but not as crazy as some other things.
Yeah, yeah. But for example, I don't know. I mean, we're getting now theoretical, no? But for example, you have Joan Robinson, the female economist. She was like a Keynesian Marxist, for example. Keynesian Marxist Maoist. Yes. So Kisilov, the governor of the province of Buenos Aires, comes from that line, from that ideological line. Different than, for example, a line like a Keynesian, like let's say Paul Krugman, for example, um, which is I know that for you. And also for me, I mean, in some capacity, Krugman is like um, like he's a political hack and a bad faith lefty, but he still is in the mainstream of neoclassical economists which are pro market in general. Um, I mean, Paul Krugman used to be a very good economist regarding international trade, for example. That's not the case at all with a guy like Kisilov, the governor of the provincia of Buenos Aires. So, um, uh, but I think that at the national level, that would be by October. The elections will be by October. I think that by that time, you can already feel in the streets that the economy is improving. So by that time, I think that the 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 general improvement of conditions will be much um, strongly established, and I think the Milei's candidates will impose themselves. Um, um, well, we have now an ex-president which is in jail, not in jail, but
Yes,
she's been. They didn't take her to jail finally, but they just locked her down in her apartment, and I will hope they throw away the key. But anyways, um, she can't go out now anymore. She's trying to push for having the right to go to the balcony and say um, and pronounce speeches, I think, and say hi to all the people that is in the streets, like they're camping for her there. Um, there are a lot of people in that area camping there um, um, in support of her. Um, we don't know if that will have a positive, neutral, or negative effect in the election. She was going to be a candidate for the local legislature
yes,
in one of the districts, West District or West sections of districts in the province of Buenos Aires.
yeah.
So it's amazing that a person that has been like um, national congressman and senator and two-term president and vice president goes for a local position, but she had a very internal dispute, very very strong internal dispute with Kisilov, the governor, the Peronist governor of the city of the province of Buenos Aires, as I said.
Yeah, Buenos Aires
So
province, yeah, Kill Suffer.
um, Right now, Kisilov, it's like doesn't matter what he's ever. He's happy that she's in jail because she doesn't gonna have her as a internal competition anymore. Um, but Milei's government is not happy that she's in jail. He
Yeah.
wanted he wanted to have candidates to compete with her in the election, because you don't have nothing to lose there. Like in the sense that if you lose, you ended up second against her. Um, you like you lost with an ex-president, ex-president, two-term president, and ex-vice president. So yeah, but if you win, I mean, it would be uh, if you lose, it would be like, well, okay, we tried, but doesn't much to lose. But if you win, if you end up first, even by just 1 point, like you won against the president, an ex-president. So it's gonna be huge as a news. Uh, much bigger than what happened in the city of Buenos Aires. So he wanted to compete against her, and for what we know or for what we hear and in the streets, local news, and the sector that pressure for her to be sent in jail now, before the election, was Mauricio Macri's wing of power. He has a good relationship with the judges, and he was interested that this happens. This happens before the election because he doesn't want to give Milei any more political. Um, doesn't want to give Milei any possibility to have more political wins. You know, like right now he's very worried that his party it's completely fragmented. Like the pro used to be like the big party in a bigger coalition with the radicals and all kind of lefty center left but anti-Peronist factions. And in the city of Buenos Aires, they already came all separated. That's why one of the reasons why, or the main, well, no, one of the reasons why uh, they got they ended up in third place. So, for example, Larreta, Horacio Rodríguez Larreta, who was the mayor 2 terms before Jorge Macri, and was put there by Mauricio Macri after he left the city and went to become president. He went by himself, and he ended up fourth. So he took up like 7% or 8% from the vote of that coalition that was in uh,
Yeah.
and from which the pro was a part of. And Larreta was not only part of that coalition; he was part of that party. He was part of the pro. So uh, right now, Macri is losing politically on all fronts. He's losing politically in the province of Buenos Aires, where all his party wants to go with the Libertad Avanza. So he pushed for this decision to be taken now, um,
Yeah.
um, by the Supreme Court
Exactly.
judges.
Yeah, getting back to Kirchner, Miguel, with recent events happening with some missiles and bombs being exchanged between the U.S. and Iran, uh, some people have said that Kirchner covered up the AMIA bombing, or perhaps was a what can you say about that? This was a bombing that happened back in 1994 that was
Yeah,
apparently against an
well,
Argentine Israeli community center or something like that.
yeah, um, it's just
If you don't know that much about it, just something I thought of because
no, it's 6 blocks away from where I live.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yes, 85 people were killed. That
yeah,
was in
85
1994.
killed. Yeah, that's a lot of,
Uh, yeah, it was
and
most
it's
likely. it was most likely perpetrated by Hezbollah and planned by Iran.
Yes.
So uh, the, regarding what they did in those years, that was uh, like about like in 2008, like Nisman uh, uh, did like finish the investigation and establish or accuse several Iranian top leaders. That was in 2008. By about, I can't remember well, but let's say 2013, 2014, uh, like Christina and the others in the government, they wanted to, maybe they wanted to improve relationships with Iran. It is difficult to know, but what they did is they came up with some crazy plan to uh, go to Iran and interrogate those accused of making of making the bombing, the the the, the people accused of being responsible of bombing uh, the Jewish. It's we call it mutual. I don't know the translation, but yeah, it's like a community center. Yes. So like the plan was like bizarre, to say the
Yeah.
least. It required approval from Congress here and approval from the Congress in Iran. So I don't know what happened. I think the Argentinian Congress, that was many years ago, but Argentinian Congress accepted it, voted for it, and then the Iranians were going to do it, but the Supreme Court in Argentina declared that that memorandum, it's called a memorandum of agreement, was like declared unconstitutional. So uh, I don't, if you ask me, I think they just wanted to score some political points by posing as people who can advance the uh, the process, which were at that time, that's true, the process was completely stagnated because, as I told you, Nisman finished the whole investigation in 2008, and this was by 2013, 2014 that all of this happened. But and then there was uh, like Nisman denunciation of secret agreements and other things, which I it's very difficult to know what happened there, and if it ended up um, as a like the whole investigation was so muddied that sometimes I think maybe maybe it was a suicide, maybe he was
Yeah.
killed. It is difficult to know. Um, like um, there is no kind of different kind of smoking guns where you can point to an official version to be uh, wrong. Um, like I would say, it's different. For example, in the Kennedy assassination, for example, we have movies like footage of actual
Oh,
moments
yes.
and different stuff. Like for example,
Yeah,
uh,
it's pretty
yeah.
wild. Yep. Well, I think we've covered just about everything, Miguel. I appreciate you coming on today.
Well, it's a pleasure always to talk with you, Chris,
Yeah.
and to give people hope that if we can do it in the U.S. eventually, you will find
Yes.
a not crazy president who will do it, but the people has to like change the chip. It happened here, uh, it will happen there. I think you take if you give me if I have to guess, like hunch in the U.S. the next president is gonna be a crazy Democrat. But
Maybe
then,
so.
yeah,
But, hopefully, we,
but
Johannes Kaiser can, win the presidency in Chile too, so, that would
oh,
certainly be a
that would be a boss. But I'm saying in the US, the next president will be a crazy Democrat, but for one term, and then you will have like a normal president that will cut spending and end up the American empire and all that crazy stuff that you can see as making so much damage locally and and not helping at the international level either. So I for sure I know that, because I like when you watch the U.S. I keep like like watching the numbers of U.S. spending and U.S. debt and U.S. deficit, and I cannot believe that you could take like 2 trillion deficits a year for much longer. So eventually, they will have a reckoning, and it's not gonna be so many years. I don't think it's gonna take 20 years. I think it's gonna be much sooner than we believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to say. Well, okay, Miguel, where can we find you out there?
Facebook, just
Okay, yep.
type my name, you find me there. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No, just thanks for reaching out, and it's been always a pleasure. And whenever you
It has been.
want, if I can give you any uh, updates on things here, just don't hesitate.
Yep. Okay, well, that's good. Thank you. Please like my video, subscribe to the please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go buy my novel Escape from the Village, check out my Substack, and people are giving me money, buy me a copy. Thank you, Miguel Duranti. I'm Chris Baker. We're out. Buy my novel, Escape from the Village, from major booksellers online. Go to escapevillage.com. Subscribe to the Substack. Go to fountainheadforum.substack.com. Support the forum. Go to buymeacoffee.com/fountainheadforum. Thank you.